in today's session, in today's this YouTube live, I would like to give you few important tips about how can you deliver good vote of thanks. Okay, and then I will take your questions. So Mayank and all, please wait for your questions. I will take your questions later on. Let me finish the topic. The topic is how to deliver a good vote of thanks or a thank you speech, so to say. So here are few things which you need to take care when you think of or when you do a vote of thanks. Always when you have to deliver a speech, remember at least two fundamental things: what you want and what is the mindset of the people when you are talking to them. Okay, so in vote of thanks, what you basically want is you want to thank all the people who have participated in that particular event. Yes, but more importantly, you have to understand the mindset of the audience at the moment you are delivering vote of thanks. And imagine yourself whenever you have attended a program anywhere, and at the end of the program, in the end of the program, if somebody is delivering vote of thanks, what are you doing at that time? For most of the audience, the answer would be they are just planning the exit from the hall, or they are planning for their lunch or dinner, so on and so forth. So most people in the audience usually are not interested to listen a vote of thanks. Now we have to keep this in mind before delivering a vote of thanks. So here are few things you should take care of while delivering a vote of thanks to make it a good vote of thanks. Number one, it should be as small as possible. In my view, 5 to 6, 7 minutes is the max you can keep your vote of thanks. If the program is short, in fact, even 2 or 3 minutes of vote of thanks is good. Unless you had a day-long event and you are thanking for all the speakers and all, there are too many people, too many parties to be thanked, 5 to 6 minutes will be sufficient for a good vote of thank. Now, second thing, before you begin, you please understand that audience is not in the most receptive mindset when you are delivering a vote of thanks. They are not going to be interested. So here are few tricks you can play in order to make them little more receptive. Number one, in the beginning, create a hook. What is a hook? Which in anticipation makes the audience sit there. For example, one of the hooks could be, please wait vote of thanks to be completed, because after this we are going to give you instructions about the food arrangement. Or it could be, we will announce the lucky draw just after this vote of thanks. Or another could be that we must not leave the hall before singing the national anthem. Something like that. Create a hook which keeps people on their seats. It's not that while you start delivering vote of thanks and they start getting up and start leaving. That would not be a very pleasant situation for you, because if you are prepared for vote of thanks. Now let's move on to the second aspect of it. In vote of thanks, whenever you are delivering, always keep a clear list of the parties or the people whom you are supposed to thank. You are not supposed to miss any name. And second thing is, always know the proper name and the correct pronunciation of the name. The person whom you are thanking must feel that you have paid attention, you have taken some efforts to understand his or her contribution. Unless you do that, your vote of thanks will be a very ordinary vote of thanks which people may not be able to appreciate. So what you have to do here is, to the number of people you are going to thank, please see that you try to use a different adjective for each entity. Okay. For example, if there were few speakers who had spoken in a program and now you are going to thank them, then please see that while thanking and naming the each person, you use a different reason to thank them. For example, your speech was so thought provoking. It really made us think. Thank you so much for such a wonderful speech. This is for one speaker. Okay. For another speaker, you could say, your speech was truly inspiring. It kept us spellbound and it inspired us. And I'm sure a lot is going to come up after that speech. We express our gratitude for such an inspiring speech. Like that, you have to add different kind of adjectives, different ways to give thank you. Because I have seen many times people use simply, they say the name and they say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It becomes pretty monotonous and it becomes pretty predictive. If your speech can be predicted in advance, then there is no fun in that. You must add some value to it. So use different methods of thanking and use different reasons for thanking, even though they may all have been speaker, or if you are thanking someone for their contribution, so you could say, without your contribution this program might not have been possible. Thank you so much for such a generous contribution. And whenever you are thanking a person, and if that person or an institution who is being represented by a person, if that person is present in the hall, have a look at that person. Okay, so if somebody is sitting on the dais and you are thanking them, look at them and say thank you so much. You can say namaste, or you can just express with your face a sense of gratitude. We are truly honored to have you, sir, something like that. So you have to make an eye contact with the person, so that person registers that yes, I am being thanked. What happens sometimes when you thank people, every time you thank, people will clap. It happens in some of the audiences. Okay, so when you're thanking one person, people are clapping. Don't be in hurry to read the next name. Let the claps get over and then say the next name. Okay, so it's very important that every person notices that when you are thanking them, you have really understood their contribution. You have really heard their speeches. You can highlight one important point from their speeches before thanking. Let me give an example. There was one of the events where I had to give a vote of thanks. It was not planned one, but somehow the person who had to give, he at the end moment told me, why don't you give? And I gave the vote of thanks. And there was, one of the speakers was our then Defense Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji. I have heard a speech very carefully. So she said in her speech, in the beginning of the speech, she said that I have not prepared for this event and therefore it's going to be a free flow. I'm going to speak from my heart. That's what she said in the beginning of her speech. And I heard it very carefully. So when I went there to give a vote of thanks, I mentioned to her, okay, I mentioned, ma'am, this was a free flow, but the flow was deep and well channelized. We are truly enriched by your inspiring words. Thank you so much for your precious time. So each time you speak, each time you say thank you, each time you express gratitude, your face should show that. It should look genuine. It should not be a mechanical thank you. Otherwise, that will not be very inspiring, or that will not be very appealing to the person. Okay. So it's always very important to thank all the people. So keep a list. There is no problem in having a list so that you do not miss anyone. But please remember these few things, that you, number one, create a hook. Number two, keep it short. Number three, make a list of all the people to be thanked. Number four, use different adjectives, different reasons for every person and make it as specific as possible. And next, use different methods of thanking. At one place you can say thank you, at one place you can say we are really honored to have you, at one place you can say our please accept our gratitude for your presence. Like that, use different ways. Don't make it monotonous. Don't just keep on saying thank you, thank you, thank you. One more point just to add a bonus is, if you are delivering a thank you speech to the people who come from different background. Let's say somebody delivered a speech in Hindi, another fellow is delivered a speech in Telugu or English. While delivering a vote of thank, if you know the language in which they have delivered the speech, please use the same language for giving a thank you. You have to make it as personalized as possible. You have to make the speaker feel that yes, this person heard me and what he is talking looks genuine. So अगर किसी ने हिंदी में स्पीच दिया है तो उसको थैंक यू भी आप हिंदी में बोलिए, उसको धन्यवाद हिंदी में बोलिए, ताकि उसको लगेगा कि यस पर्सनलाइज्ड है. ओके, सो दीज आर द फ्यू थिंग्स आई जस्ट वांटेड टू टेल यू अबाउट how to deliver a good thank you speech. Now let me give you one more bonus thing here. How do you remember so many people to thank? Let us say if you do not have a paper and you want to remember, you want to do everything without looking at a list. There is a simple memory trick which I often use. Imagine a building like a school building or a home building which you know very well, a building which you have visited many times and you know it like back of your hand. You know perfectly that building. Okay. Now visualize each person or entity whom you have to thank sitting in that one room. Okay, visualize it. Visualize as if you are entering into that building and you're meeting the first person whom you have to thank. Then you thank that person, then you go to the next room, you thank that person, then you meet the third person, you thank that person. Like that, you go one by one in different rooms and you thank different people. Visualize each person sitting in different corners, different parts of a building which you know well. It will be easy for you to maintain the sequence and thanking the people. Okay, so these were few things about how to deliver a good vote of thanks. So next time when you deliver a vote of thanks, do remember these tips. It will come very handy. Thank you so much for all of you to be present here at 10:30 p.m. and listening to me very patiently. Now let me take your questions